Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I am sharing some more super cheap, healthy dinners that you can make for yourself or your family. And today I'm going to do that using no meat. These are meatless dinners, so stay tuned. Okay, you guys, I have been on a kick lately to try to put out some videos that are mindful of budget while also trying to create healthy meals for yourself or for your family. I feel like we can still stay working towards our health goals, we're working towards a weight loss goal or a weight maintenance goal, even if we are in a pinch where money is concerned. So I've been trying to put out some more videos where I am cooking and sharing recipes or grocery hauls that are budget friendly. I have some videos along these lines already, so I'll be sure to link a couple of them up here for you, and also down in the description box. Be sure to go and check those out if you haven't already, if you are looking for more videos like this. One of the things I've been hearing lately is that meat is sometimes hard to find, and when we do find it, it can be kind of pricey. So I decided that I would attempt a couple of meatless dinners today. So one of these I'm going to turn into a lunch prep for my husband and myself, and one of these is going to be a family dinner. Yes, I do have a husband and 3 children I'm cooking for, and those children are ages 10, 7, and 6. So I have to make meals that not only fit within my lifestyle and my definition of good health and good healthy eating, but stuff that they'll eat, because it's no use making stuff that they won't eat, and I am not about cooking multiple dinners. So I went to Walmart yesterday and I spent just a little over $11 and got basically everything that I needed except for seasonings and cooking oil to make these 2 recipes. So I will turn you around and show you what I got at the store, what you will need to make these things, and how much I spent, and then we'll jump into the meals that I'm making. Okay, so here are the ingredients that I'm going to use to make these 2 meals. The star is going to be black beans, and I have a 1-pound bag of dry beans. I'm going to make these in the crock pot. And when I do it in the crock pot, I just rinse these, just clean them off in my strainer, and then I put them in the crock pot with whatever seasonings I want. I'll probably just use a little bit of this onion, a little garlic, maybe some garlic powder, pepper, chili powder, whatever you want to season them. And then I use about 5 or 6 cups of water for each pound of beans. And I just let them cook in the slow cooker until they're done. It depends on the kind of bean. I'll probably let these cook for about 8 hours and then check on them. Sometimes it takes 10 or 12, depending on the kind of bean. I just let these cook in the slow cooker, and this is going to yield probably the equivalent of 3 or 4, maybe even 5 cans of black beans. And this only cost me $1.14. So I'm gonna get 3 or 4 cans worth of black beans, which are about 68 cents a can at my Walmart. I think they're 49 cents a can at Aldi, so it still is a better deal if you can make them yourself. And this is going to be the star of the show. And in this bag, that's 8 grams of protein times 13 servings. I mean, we're talking about over 100 grams of protein in this bag here. So it's a good protein, plant-based protein source. The rest of my ingredients, I've got a lot of fresh produce I'm going to use. This is some cilantro, a jalapeno, 2 limes, a red onion, 2 Roma tomatoes, and some fresh garlic. And then I have 1 can of diced tomatoes. And here's a little key. If you don't have a lot of seasonings around, I got the one with green peppers, celery, and onions, because then those are things that I don't have to buy. 1 box of pasta. I did the whole wheat penne. This is 0 points on purple. You could use regular pasta if you wanted, but I wanted to point out too, the protein in pasta, even in white pasta, it's 7 grams per serving, which is pretty decent amount of protein for 2 ounces of pasta. I've got a 30 count of white corn tortillas here. And then I have some brown rice. It was only $1.12 for a 1-pound bag of brown rice, a bag of frozen corn, a jar of this Alfredo sauce. This is the smaller jar, and it was $1.50, and it's a 16-ounce jar, and 1 little thing of Greek yogurt. This is just plain. Oh no, it's vanilla. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to, you need plain Greek yogurt, not vanilla. Don't get vanilla Greek yogurt. Fortunately, I have some that's just in the refrigerator, but 1 little thing of plain Greek yogurt is 64 cents, but you need plain, not vanilla. And then I was looking for something to go along with one of our meals, and since I had a lot of veggies already in there, I decided to go for a fruit, and you guys, I scored. They had strawberries for 75 cents a pint. 75 cents a pint. So we're going to be able to have some fresh strawberries with one of our dinners too. So let me show you how much I spent on all this, and then we'll jump into the meals that I'm making with these ingredients. Plain yogurt, y'all, not vanilla. I forgot to add, you also need a little taco seasoning and some ranch seasoning. These are 30 cents at my Walmart, and these are 50 cents. I just keep some on hand in the pantry to show you guys, but I make my seasonings from scratch. So I already had those at home. So if you have homemade taco seasoning or homemade ranch seasoning, you can use that. If not, you might want to pick up a couple of packets of these to go along with these meals. Here is my receipt, and you can see my subtotal before tax was $11.44. If you needed to buy your seasonings, you would need to spend, I think, 78 cents on taco seasoning and ranch seasoning if you're buying it in a packet. If you make it at home, it won't, be anything additional if you already have it. So I did pay 97 cents in tax, so my total was $12.41. And this is going to yield 2 different recipes that are going to feed probably 7 or 8 people per recipe. So that's gonna be less than $1 per meal. So I think that's pretty good, but let's jump into it and I'll show you what I'm making. All right, you guys, so my black beans are done cooking. I actually cooked those overnight, and behind me on the stove, I have my rice already cooking. And all I did to make that is put just maybe a tablespoon or so of olive oil in my pan, and I threw in a couple tablespoons of chopped onion and a couple cloves of garlic that I used my garlic press for. And then I threw in 2 cups of dry brown rice from that bag that you saw in my grocery haul, and I kind of let those brown together. That's not necessary. I just find that it kind of helps with the flavor a little bit. Then I added about 4.5 cups of water, and it has been boiling on the stove, and that is going to be done in a few minutes. And now what I hope to be throwing together are some black bean and brown rice tacos for lunch prep for my husband and I, and I'm also going to be preparing a really simple corn salsa to go along with that, and I'm going to attempt a copycat version of sort of like the Chewy's jalapeno dip, if you know what I'm talking about. If you know about Chewy's, you know what I'm talking about. So let me show you what I'm doing to get that stuff together. So I've already chopped up about half of my red onion. That red onion was huge. I didn't need the whole thing. I've chopped up about half of it, and I have some sitting here. I used a little bit of it in the rice, and now I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my tomatoes and also my jalapeno that I have here. I'm gonna use a little bit of that in one recipe and a little bit of that in another recipe. Okay, so to make my corn salsa, I'm using half of my bag of frozen corn, and I did put this into a microwave safe bowl and with about a tablespoon or 2 of water, and I heated it up for about 2 minutes because I want the corn to be a little softer. You could of course use canned corn. I was just trying to be a good steward of the corn that I was buying and cut a corner budget-wise for my grocery budget, but I just used half that bag because the other half I'm gonna use in another recipe that we're gonna make in a minute. But now I'm just gonna assemble my corn salad with the veggies that you see chopped. Oh my gosh, all these chopped veggies smell so good. They're so fragrant. I'm only gonna use about half of my jalapenos that I chopped because I need the other ones for the jalapeno dip that I'm going to make. Some onions. Actually, I'm gonna need a bigger bowl. Boop. And cilantro, nice handful of that. And then all I'm gonna do is add some salt and pepper. And I'm gonna juice half of a lime, half of one of my limes here. Give it a good stir. Not everybody likes cilantro, I know. Are you a cilantro lover? Let me know in the comments. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Take it or leave it? How do you feel about cilantro? And there it is. And this is just gonna taste better in the next few days as all of those flavors kind of mingle. So I'm gonna set that aside because I'm gonna put it into my lunch containers in just a minute, but let me show you how I'm putting together the rest of this little lunch. So this is going to be my creamy jalapeno dip, and what I have in here is about 2/3 of a cup of plain Greek yogurt. Remember, get the plain, not the vanilla like I got. And about 2 tablespoons of my homemade ranch dressing mix, but you could use about a tablespoon of the packet if you'd rather use that. My other half of my jalapeno, which I diced really, really tiny, some salt and pepper, a couple cloves of garlic that I pressed in there, and just a skosh of milk. And also I juiced the other half of that lime to put in here. So I'll leave some recipes for this down below. Like I said, I kind of lighten it up, and I'm just gonna stir that together, and I might make it just a little bit thinner with a little bit more milk. And this is gonna be such a nice, yummy, refreshing topping for the tacos that we're making. Okay, so my beans are cooked, my corn salsa is made, my creamy jalapeno dip is made, my rice is cooked and it's chilled, so all I'm going to do is squeeze my other lime, my whole lime on top of that, and add another half cup or so of cilantro to that so I can have some cilantro lime brown rice, and then we're ready to assemble these lunch bowls, and I'll tell you how we're putting those together. I have taken out some of the black beans, about 2 cups of the black beans that I made from the crock pot, and I've set those aside for the other recipe that I'm gonna make here in a minute. And I have my containers out, and I'm going to start to put together these taco lunch preps that I'm making right now. So I'm just going to put some rice and some beans into the container and some of the Chewy's copycat jalapeno dip, the lightened up version that I made, and some of the corn salsa. And I have these containers that have little dividers in them so that, you know, none of that is touching. And I have 6 in front of me, but I'm thinking I might get 7 or even 8 servings of this. And whenever we're ready to eat these, I'm just going to serve them with 3 of the corn tortillas that I bought. And I think they're gonna be really delicious. It smells absolutely amazing. We interrupt this video to tell you how perturbed I am with these containers. I just purchased these on Amazon and I was so excited to get them. They are awful. I think I'm actually going to go and leave my first ever Amazon review and tell people not to buy these. The lids do not fit on these properly. I have been struggling with these now for 10 minutes, but I was able to get 8 servings of that lunch prep in. So I'm very excited to have gotten 8 servings out of all that food. And I'm actually going to sit and try one of these right now because I've worked up an appetite struggling with these dadgum containers, trying to get the lids on them. I could not wait to try one of these tacos. So I decided to make myself one with the tiny little bit that was left over after I put 8 of them together. So cheers. Oh my gosh, so good. I think this would also be really good if I took those corn tortillas, and I'm gonna serve 3 with each one of these little box lunches. If I cut them into triangles and threw them into my air fryer for about 5 or 6 minutes and made like some chips, some tortilla chips, and just used the chips to dip into all of the ingredients for the tacos. Oh, so good. But highly recommend. I know it was a little bit of work, y'all, but you gotta try these. As usual, you guys, if there were any recipes that inspired me, I will be sure to leave them linked in the description box below. And I will also leave my grocery list and how I made these dishes, because even though sometimes I'm inspired by other recipes, I'm usually making some adjustments just for our own tastes and purposes, and sometimes to make them more WW friendly. So I'm going to make a black bean alfredo. And all I'm gonna do is start with, a pretty good sized pot, and I'm gonna use 12 ounces of my 1 pound box of pasta. I think 1 pound would be way too much pasta. So I'm gonna use about 3/4 of that box, my 2 cups of black beans that I reserved, the rest of my package of corn, the can of tomatoes that I bought, the packet of taco seasoning if you have that, or if you're like me and you make your homemade taco seasoning, put a couple tablespoons of that in, and also maybe a handful of cilantro, about 3 cups of water, and I'm gonna bring that to a boil and then let it simmer until it is cooked through, until the pasta is cooked through, and then I should be able to just stir it together and it'll be a nice, delicious pasta meal. And I am just going to serve that alongside the strawberries that you saw in my haul, because I thought that would be a nice, refreshing, sweet flavor to go along with that pasta dish. I'm just starting to put this video together and I realized that I didn't give you any points totals on the WW plan. I feel like this has been kind of a messy video for me to make, but you know what? That's just the way it is on my channel. Nothing is ever perfect and things are rarely even put together. So for the pasta, if you make it serve 6, it comes out to 5 points on purple, 11 points on blue, and 14 points on green. That would be a very large serving, I think. So if you make it serve 7, on purple it's 4, blue it's 9, and green it's 12. Now where the black bean tacos were concerned for lunch prep, that really depends on how much of each item you put in your container. So since I'm on purple, the only thing that I have to count for those lunch preps is the tortillas, however many tortillas I use. And I'm counting 1 point in addition for the jalapeno dip and the tablespoon of olive oil I used in that entire recipe of rice. So for the blue plan, you would have to count the tortillas and the brown rice. For the green plan, you would have to count the tortillas, the brown rice, the black beans, and the corn. So it sort of depends on how much of those things that you use, because I wasn't really necessarily measuring out my brown rice and my beans. I was just kind of making it even across all 8 containers. And so I would definitely say that these are very purple friendly meals, and that's the plan that I'm working, but that doesn't mean that they won't work for you on the other plans as well. They're just gonna be a little higher in points, but when you're on the other plans, you get more daily points. So there you have it. So here is the pasta all plated up, and I decided to make it serve 7 because this is a serving when it serves 7, and I thought that was very generous. So I've already tried a bite of this and it's really good, and it's even better if you have a little cheese to put on, and I put a little mozzarella cheese on the kids. So if you have the points for it, or you just, like cheese and you want to put that on there, I think that that would be a good addition to this as well. But really tasty and very easy. That's what I have for you guys today. I hope that that's helpful. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and let me know you want to see more videos like it. I'll be sure to check in with you guys very soon with another video. Bye.